Welcome back, Canonites, for our next Hunt the Truth breakdown. While The Star is certainly the latest episode, we actually have a few other things to talk about, so let's dive in. First up is a failed transmission from Maya Sankar, aka Pharaoh, presumably to Noah, her commander. She's on Conrad's Point, one of the colonies devastated by the Guardians, as we learn from the Halo 5 opening cinematic. She's reporting that something big is about to happen before entering a camp, presumably the NCA camp she was sent to infiltrate, and the transmission cuts. Next up, we have a new cam showing, to everyone's surprise, at least at the time, the Master Chief running through the streets of Meridian. There's some Morse code hidden in the audio, but it's yet to be fully decoded as far as I'm aware. Following that, of course, is the new live-action trailer. I had wanted to talk about this before today, but perhaps it's better that I was forced to wait. You'll see why shortly. The trailer starts out with the announcement of the Master Chief dead on Meridian. Yeah, dead. On October 27th, no less. Now in the trailer, the UNSC press secretary, Penelope Boren, reports the year as 2560. It would seem that this was a mistake that somehow made it through editing, as evidenced by a little letter published today on the Hunt the Truth website. From Michael Sullivan to Sync Oni Saren Osman, the letter apologizes for misreporting the date of death, and notes that Miss Boren has been reassigned to a mining colony as punishment. Anyways, the trailer continues. We cut between scenes of the Chief in action and people reacting to the news. A few scenes stood out. The first is of this retired soldier. Living alone, rather isolated, he sports a mechanical arm. Kinda sounds like Petrovsky from Season 1, doesn't it? Now granted, Petrovsky described his living conditions as fairly abysmal in the episodes, but given his betrayal of Ben at the end of Hunt the Truth Season 1, perhaps he cut a deal with Oni that included some upgraded quality of life, and that assumes he wasn't in on the ploy from the start. Moving forward, the next scene of interest shows an astronaut doing a spacewalk near a halo ring, though which one is unknown. Given how healthy the environment looks, I would personally guess it's Installation 07. However, the UNSC has theoretically had easy access to the Ark since 2555, so it could easily be Installations 1, 2, or 6. 05 was glassed, so I'm seriously doubting that's what we're seeing. After that, we find ourselves on a train where a young boy has an action figure of a Spartan 4 that's been repainted to resemble the Chief. I just found that kind of funny. After more reaction scenes, we see the Chief running through the streets of Meridian again. Above, we see part of a Guardian. Its repulsors activate, causing widespread destruction. And interestingly, as the Chief is running into the dust here, you can actually hear the classic shield alarm. The final scene shows the Chief under a pile of rubble. As the camera pulls away, his visor goes dark, ending the trailer. And damn, what a trailer! Full of emotion and leaving us with tons of questions! Obviously, the Chief isn't actually dead, but it makes you wonder if the UNSC/ONI actually think of him dead, or declared him KIA to avoid publicly branding him as a traitor. In the wake of this trailer, we also get a new website, which is linked below. Similar to the Remember Reach campaign, where points of light formed the image of Noble Team, we have colored triangles that form the image of the Master Chief's helmet. The points consist of official press releases, messages left by visitors, tweets, and videos. While there will certainly be more to come in the future, that's pretty much all there is for now. With that out of the way, we can talk about the new Hunt the Truth episode. Finally, right? Our episode begins as Maya makes her way to Conrad's Point. She's reflecting on her encounter with Ben and her new mission when she suddenly remembers what Mishak Maradi had been talking about before he discovered Pharaoh's identity: anomalies in deep space. While not confirmed in this episode, I think it's pretty safe to say that we were right in assuming that they had a connection to the Guardians. As they approach Conrad's Point, BB calls Maya back to reality. Upon entering the airspace, BB picks up an analog transmission, presumably from Ari Rensik, the Oni agent sent to infiltrate the NCA. Maya goes into a dead dive, which is basically letting the ship drop before deploying a drag, making them less likely to be detected. Once on the ground, Maya sets out to find the coordinates BB had picked up. As they move, BB makes note of the lovely environment with all the sarcasm we've come to know and love. And as I said before, the English accent just makes it that much more delicious. Maya makes her way up to a ridge and is shocked to find a giant crater, half a mile wide as we learned later. Kind of funny considering a Guardian is well over half a mile tall and almost a mile from wingtip to wingtip. Anyway, all of a sudden, a man sneaks up behind Maya holding a gun to her. As she turns around, she realizes it's Ari. Before she can react though, Ari tells her to stay quiet, act surprised, like they're meeting for the first time, noting that somebody could be watching. Ari takes her bag, pretending to rifle through it. Maya plays along. They go through the motions of what a meeting between two strangers with a common cause on a desolate world would ultimately entail, before finally relaxing enough to speak plainly. BB also joins in, surprising Ari for a second. Maya reveals that she and BB are there to find out what happened. Ari explains that he and the NCA weren't around for the actual event, but arrived not long after. The event caused major seismic activity and fried every piece of tech on the planet. Since the NCA arrived, they blocked off the site, only a select few allowed in. And then Ari reveals that this particular NCA faction is being led by the infamous Ilsa Zane, former Super Spartan, now certifiable Psycho. We last saw Ilsa following her attack on Infinity in 2553. She was jettisoned into space and picked up by an Oni Prowler. I've always assumed that Admiral Drake himself was on board given her reaction, but sadly we aren't given any insight or confirmation on that. Since she took over this particular NCA faction and has been ruling it with an iron fist, straight up killing anyone she saw as a threat. Good to see she hasn't changed. Ari in the meantime has been trying to keep Ilsa from declaring all-out war on the UNSC. Seems she's got enough nukes to flatten the whole system, as Ari puts it. As Maya is about to send a message to Noah, BB picks up movement nearby. She quickly gives Ari her escape story just as NCA soldiers show up. They ask what Ari is doing out by the crater and who Maya is. Luckily, Ari has a way with words and easily smooths things out. It isn't long before Maya, Pharaoh, is being escorted into the encampment. Pausing for a moment, this seriously has me questioning when Maya sent her transmission, or rather, failed to transmit her message to Noah. Did she pull back when being escorted and secretly record it? Did she make some excuse to get some privacy before entering the camp? It's never really made clear. Once inside, Maya is shocked to find that everyone is basically partying. Why? Well, Ari is just as in the dark as she is. As Ari tries to find out what's going on, Maya tries to blend in, get a drink while looking around for any familiar faces. After a while, she finally finds someone, a young woman named Boswick. At 17, Boswick's parents had been killed by UNSC soldiers. The soldiers had been drunk and were messing with a crate of plasma grenades they had captured. You can probably guess what happened. The soldiers were merely slapped on the wrist and Boswick got a letter of apology. Wanting revenge, she started out with petty theft but was ready to move on to bigger and more dangerous activities when Pharaoh found her and set her on a better path. In the present, Boswick was scooped up by the NCA after the incident where Pharaoh was captured and has been on perimeter duty ever since. As she's talking with Boswick, BB informs Pharaoh that he sent a report to command and that they've ordered an airstrike on the compound. Grabbing Boswick, Maya meets up with Ari, who hands her a data chip. She tells him they need to get out, the urgency clear in her voice, and they attempt to do so. Before they can, however, the main entrances are sealed, and in walks Ilsa Zane. The room goes quiet as Zane, who is noted as being quite large both in terms of physicality and presence, enters. Ari hides Maya behind him, hoping to keep her a new face out of sight. Then Zane begins to speak. Her speech is truly something to hear and quite revealing. She talks about how she forged the group before her now, how they work together like a well-tuned machine, and how she disposes of pieces that don't fit, trimming the fat in essence. She then goes on to reveal why everyone is celebrating. The Master Chief has been declared dead. With everyone cheering, Ari, Maya, Boswick in tow, try to sneak out. They don't make it far before Zane lays her eyes on them. Maya identifies herself as Pharaoh, and Zane notes that she's heard the name before. As one might guess, Zane fundamentally opposes Pharaoh's ideas. Ari steps forward to try and vouch for Pharaoh, noting her experience with the logistics and supply chains. Zane briefly seems interested, but then shoots Ari, killing him. As it turns out, she had discovered Ari's ties to Oni, and given Ari's support for Pharaoh, Zane is ready to assume that Pharaoh is Oni too. Before she can do anything, however, Boswick brings a knife to Zane's throat and vouches for Pharaoh. Zane isn't amused and starts beating the young woman. BB suddenly reminds Maya about the airstrike, and with little time left, Pharaoh reveals this to Zane and the crowd. Before anyone has time to react, though, the strike hits. Maya, somehow alive, grabs a wounded Boswick and, with BB's help, makes for the garage. Grabbing a mongoose, Maya heads for her ship, though not far behind, Zane and a few of her crew follow, firing at Maya. Thankfully, Maya, Boswick, and BB make it to the ship and take off. On the ship, Maya scrouges together some supplies to tend to Boswick's wounds. Afterwards, she remembers the data chip Ari had given her. It contains tons of information on the seismic events, enough to predict future events in fact. However, Maya has no idea how to read it. Thankfully, she knows someone who does, someone apparently not with Oni, and lays in a course. Damn, what an episode! So much happens, and that cameo by Ilsa Zane! I can still remember thinking that Zane might have been Pharaoh back during Season 1. Boy, how wrong I was with that one. Still, just as before, the episode has left me hyped for what comes next, and between this and the recent live-action trailer, I'm even more hyped for Halo 5. I don't believe for a second that the Chief is actually dead, but I'm eager as hell to understand the circumstances around that announcement. Swinging back to Hunt the Truth itself, what's Boswick gonna do when she wakes up? Is she gonna be a mainstay for the season, or will Maya let her go, or will she kill her? I'm hoping she stays on and we can see upcoming events through the eyes of multiple characters with different views. Now, as awesome as everything is, this and the live-action trailer seriously call into question the timeline of events we currently have for Halo 5. Hear me out. The Master Chief is declared dead as a result of the attacks on Meridian on October 27th. Fireteam Osiris deploys to sunk Helios on October 27th. That level, by the way, was revealed to be the 11th level in the game. However, in the opening cinematic for Halo 5, it's revealed that the attacks on the colonies took place 72 hours prior to Osiris being briefed. Even if we assume that the UNSC waited a few days to report on the Chief's death, this still leaves me very confused about Halo 5's timeline. While it would be easy to just dismiss this stuff as errors, we don't really have that luxury at the moment, and sadly all we can really do is wait for Halo 5, and hope that it'll shed some light on the situation. But anyway, that's all for today. Like last week, this one is off to a great start, and I can't wait to find out what else might be revealed in the days to come. For now, this has been Halo Canon. Keep shining, Spartans. Hey guys,